little bit different. I'm going to take you along on our homeschool day and how it all works, and then give you my tips on how to handle homeschool burnout. So it's about this time of year where everybody starts to feel it. We all are just ready for summer, we're over the winter, and we are ready to be done and tuck our books away for the year, but it's not time for that. And so there are some things that I do and some things for myself, more specifically than the girls, that I need to get in the right mindset in order to power through this time and be able to finish out our school year strong and finish out all of our books. So I'm going to take you along for the day, but first, as our pumpkin bread is baking, we are going to go out and get some chores done. So after beds are made, the girls each have some chores outside that they need to do. Kendall goes and she gets in the feed wagon with Clint, and she opens gates for him and just kind of helps him if he gets stuck. She drives the other tractor. She's kind of his right-hand man for the feeding process in the morning for all the cattle. The other girls take care of our smaller animals. One feeds the chickens, the other one does dogs and cats, and so we just kind of tag team out here in the outside so it doesn't take us super long, and then we all go back inside to have breakfast. Try and do some kind of a hearty breakfast in the morning that helps us get through school without everyone saying, I need a snack, I need a snack, a million times a day. So we try and do a hot breakfast every single day, and we're going to get this mixed up. But a lot of times I'll do just anything that interests us, and we'll just read quite a few of them throughout the year, because I'll read a chapter during our breakfast time. After breakfast, we go ahead and move to the schoolroom and get out our language arts and our math books. So the way I've always done it for school is start with the youngest child first, the one that needs the most help from mom, and then you move on to the next and the next, because the other two can do half or more of their school independently. So that's how I've always done it. Of course, there's always exceptions. If one child needs something more than the other, I don't know. There's some exceptions where I will jump that around, but for the most part, I start with my youngest and move my way through with them, and they just know that they work on what they can work on, and they wait for me for their turn when they can't do it on their own. So we will do our schoolwork in here, language, arts, and math, and then we will either do, I try once a week to do science and once a week to do history. It doesn't always work out, and actually we are very, very close. We are only in March, and we're very close to being done with our language arts books for all three girls. So as soon as those are done, then we will, instead of doing language arts during that time, we'll do math, and then we'll do bust out science and history. So we kind of just sprinkle in science and history how it works for us. But for now, we are going to get our bulk school done, which is reading, writing, and math, or language arts and math. Okay, so we finished our schoolwork, and I shoved the children outside to go get some fresh air. It's not really a very nice day. It's super cloudy. We got rain tomorrow. It's kind of chilly, but fresh air is quite good, especially when you're all bundled up. Okay, so let's talk first. I know I'm going to get a lot of these questions. What curriculum do I use? And I do have a video out there on the curriculum that we chose for 2022 and 2023. I have not rewatched it, so I'm thinking it's the same of what was in this video. The only thing that might be different is math, and maybe my oldest language arts, because I think it was this year, we started out with one curriculum and made the switch back to the good and the beautiful. It is our favorite curriculum. We use it for math and language arts. We also use it for certain science curriculum, so they go off of a theme or off of a subject. So if it's the human body, if it is marine biology, if it is rocks, whatever the topic is, and then they have like 10 to 15 lessons on that. So we do use it for science depending on if the girls are into, I kind of let them help me with choosing what they want to learn, because that's the beauty of homeschool. I did start their government unit this year. We have not gotten very far into it. So far we like it. They're family style. All of their history and science is family style. I do like the first lessons that we have done through the government unit. Our plan is we are almost done with language arts, and so we are going to then replace that with history or science during that time frame. So the curriculum that we are using this year is the good and the beautiful for everything. That's not always the case. It is for language arts. We love the good and beautiful language arts. We're looking into a few different things for math for next year. I love the good and the beautiful's math curriculum. However, it is very intense, and so it's a lot. My girls don't love math. They love to read, and so it's very daunting for them. So we will see. I love the different ways it's taught, the games, and all that stuff that's in it. That's all great, but we will see if we'll continue to use those next year. Okay, so now the big elephant in the room. How do you get past homeschool burnout? So I have a couple tips on how I do it, but I do want to say up front, I am not an expert. We still have bad days. In fact, today and yesterday were bad days. We still have times during our homeschool where we are just like, There are a couple things that I do that help with this. And around this time of year, it happens every single year, we all are just tired. We're tired of the winter, we're tired of the cold, we're tired of the bookwork, we're tired of all of it. And both of us, my children and myself included, and it's really hard to stay motivated. And so how do you stay motivated in this time of year? Because you have to be the parent and you have to keep going because they can't stop. Well, I guess you can make your schedule however you'd like. But we like to take the summers off. We have a big thriving garden and I can and all of that. So it just is better for us to have those summer months off and not doing it different times of the year. So we do a long summer, or a long summer break, I should say. So we usually finish beginning of May, end of April, and we can start back up again the beginning of August. It's usually how our summer break goes. So how do you get past this homeschool burnout? My very first one, I know this sounds cliche or whatever, but pray. Pray through it and pray over it. That is my number one tip, and that's what helps me the most. I start praying usually in January, and I just pray over and over again, please give me back the desire. Give me back the desire to continue. Put it in my heart that I will enjoy it. And even in those hard moments, right in the middle of your school day, pray through it. And He will change your heart. If homeschooling is what He has called you to do, He will change your desire of your heart, and it'll help you. It doesn't necessarily mean I never have any bad days because of it, but I do pray a lot. Specifically, I usually do at the beginning of the school year, and then usually right about now in the halfway mark, I'm praying, covering our homeschool in prayer every single day, throughout the day, in the mornings in my quiet time, all of those things, because it is real. Homeschool burnout is real, and even not homeschool burnout, just school in general. During this time, it's just a lot. So that would be my tip number one, is to pray through it and continue to cover your homeschool in prayer so that you do have that happiness while you're homeschooling your children, and you remember why you're doing it and the joy that you have in doing it. Tip number two, do more hands-on or field trips or play groups or anything like that. Do more of those during this time. So I know I like to get with other mamas. I like to do other things, and maybe kind of set the books aside a little bit and do more of those things. Try really hard to once a month, or if you are really ambitious, once a week, and go do something fun. So it's kind of a motivator for you and for the kids, that if we get all of this work done Monday through Thursday, Friday we're going to go to so-and-so's house, or Friday we're going to go on the field trip to the park or to the caves or wherever you have in your local area. So try and do more things like that to keep you engaged, to keep your children engaged. And I really start out the year doing those things. I kind of taper off around November, December, January, and I try and circle them back around and bring them back in, because they are stuff that keeps us all motivated and keeps us all excited and have a goal to look for every single week or month, or however you want to do it. If you want to do it bi-weekly, that works too. So that would be my second tip, is to do some more hands-on things, do some more out and about things, have more friends over, that kind of stuff. And my tip number, I think we're on 3, is to make a list. So, or a chain, or whatever you need to do to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So just today, my daughter was mapping out her math book and how many lessons that she has left to do, and plugged them into the days, took off certain days that she knows we were going to be doing something else that she wouldn't be doing a math lesson on, so that she had an end date in mind of when she will be done with schoolwork. And that helps you, because if you do that at the beginning of the year, that's fine, but you have 8 months or 9 months or however long it is and it's kind of just seems very overwhelming. But at this point, at this stage where you're at, when you do that, it actually makes you be like, oh, it's not so bad. We're almost there. We don't have very much more time. When you put it in terms of months, maybe. But when you put it in terms of weeks, or you put it in terms of, just one lesson a day, and you kind of go out and you can have a calendar or you can have a chain or whatever you need to do to like mark off every single day that you get it done. That really helps to see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that we are almost there. And it keeps us all motivated to keep doing it and to do it every single day so that we can hit that goal of being done on that date. So that would be my tip number 3, is maybe at this stage you need to, with your child, put up a big calendar and mark off how many more lessons we have and how many more days, and so they can cross it off every single day that they get it done. That would be something that would be really encouraging for me to see, and I know it's really encouraging for my girls to see. And my tip number 4 would be to try and have fun and to change it up. So I am really good about this at the beginning of the year, not so good about it as the year goes on. I just want to get school done so we can move on with our day. And that's not why we homeschool to begin with. And so as the weather starts to change, I know we're still in March, and where I'm at in Missouri, we're having good and bad days, but start changing it up. Go outside, do school outside, take your school somewhere else, go have a picnic. Try and do like how you start off the year, really excited and doing all these fun things. Take advantage of the good days, of the good weather that you're going to start to have now as we enter into spring, and switch it up a little bit to keep it exciting and to help us check off those check marks on the calendar that we are almost done with school, and not so mundane and just day after day we sit at the table, we do our schoolwork, and we move on with our day, which I'm guilty of that. And so this is something that I'm talking to myself. It is a tip I have. So I'm good at it sometimes, not so good at it other times. But when you do have those nice weather days, try and go outside and do school. Just switch it up a little bit. So I hope that this helped you with just seeing how our homeschool day runs, and seeing how usually we're done with school by about noon, by lunchtime, sometime between 11 and 12. And then we have the rest of our afternoon to do whatever we need to do, to get together with people. If we are going to get out of the house, I know that was one of my tips. We typically don't do our bookwork on the day that we're going to do a field trip. If we're going to get together with a friend, we do school before we get together with friends. But if we're going on a field trip and going to visit something educational, then we typically don't do our bookwork that day, and school is counted on that field trip. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you got some ideas to power through the rest of this time. We're almost there. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for all of my homeschool mamas out there, and I know you can do it. I see you all out there, homeschool mamas, and I know that right now is the hardest time to keep going. Your kids are done, you're done, but keep pushing through, because we are there. We're almost there, and there is still joy and beauty in homeschooling. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I send out one new video a week. If you jump on over to the blog, which I'll drop in the description, and put your email in, I do send out 2 emails a week with recipes, farm life, or just any kind of tips right here along the ranch and the homestead. And I hope that this video was helpful for you, and we will see you next time. Take care.